I love china, don't you? Ceramics and things like that, pots. I've got a small collection, like everyone else, of pots, not cooking pans, I don't mean, but ceramics. I've got some ceramic chickens, as you do. Lots of jugs that I love the shape of the jug. Lots of jugs that I've collected over the years. And various vases and handmade china things, sometimes made by me. I did a pottery course once. Anyway, so here is a jar. This is just like a storage jar of some sort, and we're going to put a branch on it with a bird standing here, and you'll find your birds easier to draw if you do their legs first. This is something I discovered recently. Do the legs first, then the body, then the tail, and don't worry too much about perfection. Remember to put the eye on a level with the beak, not higher, not lower, just there. Make it a little bit cute, like that, and there you are. Bob's your uncle, bird's your friend. And then we'll just put some leaves on here, on this twiggy thing. So excuse me if I sound a little bit discombobulated today, because I'm sleep deprived and it's getting worse. My dog will not stay asleep after 5:30, so I have to get up because she barks her head off. Putting another bird up here now. Don't forget to put the eye down quite low. Do the legs first. And then we're going to paint this in a slightly unusual way. I'm going to put flowers on here, but the pot is going to be black, which is something that I've not done before. We're going to paint in black. So I'm just putting blobs of future colour on there, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. And then around and about, there's different ways that you could decorate the surroundings here, and I've got a couple of options for you to consider. This one is just abstract, deconstructed branches flying around all over the place with birds attached. I did the painting first, then the lines, then the birds. This one has got just deconstructed a leaf background with dots, and this has got butterflies and dragonflies as well. There are two birds on this jar, and slightly different arrangement of leaves and things. There's so many different things you can do. You could paint hundreds of these. This is the one I'm basing this on, and here I just put a few oak leaves. Didn't really complete that, but I did paint the background in colour. So you've got options, you know. And yeah, so I don't know, what shall we do? I'm not sure. I think what I'll do is I'll paint the jar first and then decide what to do for the background. How does that sound? I think that makes sense. Come on, brain, function. What am I doing? Okay, so I've got some white gouache here. I've got an empty palette that I can mix in. And I've got my square Meeden palette, which is handy for colours. And I've put out here, this is cerulean blue, believe it or not. Looks like turquoise, doesn't it? This is sap green. This is yellow. This is gamboge. This is lemon yellow, basically. That's rose. Is that rose? No, that's alizarin crimson from another set. This is rose pink. This is violet. And this is red. I don't know what colour. Anyway, there we are. That should do. And most importantly, black. This is Meeden black. So we might want to just dampen these down a little bit. So I'll take a jar of water. Tamsin said it's nice to have the water in the picture because it moves. So we put that there, and I'll take some water in my pipette. the pipette that we bought to feed drugs to our lambs when we had lambs. We don't have a ram anymore, so we won't have any more lambs. Anyway, we haven't got enough blessed grass. We're having another drought. Mind you, it's not as bad as it is in Cairo, where my husband is at the moment. They're 45 degrees or something like that during the middle of the day. Yikes is all I can say. I'm going to use a 5, I think, size 5. That's a 7. This is smaller than that, isn't it? This is a, I don't know, can't see. Too small. Let me see. No. Just a second. What's that? That's a 4 Princeton, but I'm not sure if that's going to be any good. Might be. Should I give it a try? This is a Princeton Neptune. It's about the right size. So then we have to decide what colour we're going to do the birds. And now the background of this is going to be black. And so therefore we want something that's going to contrast well with black. So maybe turquoise. What do you think? Turquoise for the bird? Don't hesitate too long. If you hesitate, all is lost. I mean, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. So we'll do that one, turquoise. And then we need some green for the leaves. And I think I'm probably about to say this brush is too soft for my liking. Too soft. So I have swapped to a draw well brush, which is firmer. I hadn't really thought about the brush stiffness much. Now, I'm not trying too hard to keep these to a particular shape. And the reason is because we're going to paint round them, so it doesn't matter. But I will put in, let's see how good my, what's the word, manual dexterity is on a day when I'm sleep deprived. Yes, may turn out not to be too good. So we'll put some more down here. And some more up here. And then the bright yellow for the flowers. So we're just putting in blobs. They're not, no shape, because the shape will come when we do the next stage. So this is a technique we're learning here, and you know, let's put some yellow up there and a bit of green here. And shall we make the bird on top the same colour? Okay. You can see the pencil lines there from the drawing, so I'll just make him a little bit bigger, go over some of those lines. And now we need to just dry it, or let it dry. Okay, so something I should have probably done is paint the rim of the bowl, of the lid. Just pop in some turquoise there. Could be any colour. You can always change the colour later, especially if you're using gouache. You can always change the colour. So now the fun starts. I'm going to pick up some black. I'm using a fairly small brush, like I said. And I'm going to just paint the background. Oh, I should have had some blue there, or yellow rather. Yeah, so cause the leaves to have shape by painting round them, and paint petals into the flowers. Like that. It's true negative painting. And you might decide that you want to put in another flower as you go round. You might say, oh. So you just leave a space. Just leave a space wherever you think you'd quite like it to be coloured, not black. So like there, for example. And if your hand shakes a bit and you go over the stem, for example, because you can't, can't be perfect, don't worry, you can always paint over it again. And it doesn't matter if your lines are a bit shaky, because you can correct that with a black pen later. In fact, you could do the whole thing with a Tombow pen or something like that. Nothing to stop you doing it that way. That's Lottie embarking on a dream. I'm waiting for something to come into my head. Usually about this point in time, something comes into my head and I start rambling off about something or other. Nothing to do with painting, but if you concentrate, which of course you're supposed to, aren't you, really? I'm going to put another leaf in there. You're supposed to concentrate on your painting, aren't you? If you do, then the chances are you won't be able to think of anything to say. And making sure that I keep in the right places here is requiring a certain amount of concentration. But it's quite fun to do. It's quite rewarding to go round the colour coloured area. It's a bit like a colouring book, isn't it? Oh yeah, that makes me think of the website I wanted to mention. Have a look at the website. Even if you've looked at our website before, we've just changed it completely. We've got a totally new design, and it's easier to find things now. We've always had certain items for sale. Some of them are also for free. Digital downloads of colouring books and things like that. That's what made me think of that when I said it's like doing colouring in. Collections of video sketches from the videos. So, for example, garden birds and butterflies and bees and stuff. Anyway, go and have a look if you feel like it. And you'll find it easier to navigate through now. I think. And if you have any feedback, if there's any problems, it should be a lot faster than it used to be because we're paying more money for it now. Tamsin does all the design and all the work and everything, but you still have to have the whole thing hosted. Yes. So we've upgraded, I think is the word, our hosting package, and so it should work faster. Well, it is definitely working faster. And so I'm just finishing off the last of the black here. And that's it. So that's okay. And the details we'll put in with a Tombow pen. So I'll just come back here and make this yellow flower yellow, and we need a little bit of green in here. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry and encourage my hand to come back to life. So now the next thing is the surround. I still haven't quite made up my mind. I think probably I'm going to just go for lots of nice green, different greens, I think, because that's okay. So let's do some empty branches of leaves. I call them empty because I just paint the outlines. And we can do ones that aren't quite so empty, just vary it, just have some fun. It usually takes me about half an hour of painting to actually feel like I'm enjoying it or getting anything like remotely into a creative phase, you know. And I always end up at this point saying, I don't know why I don't paint more often, but I paint every day. Or I do at the moment anyway. And one of the things that I really like about the modern watercolor style, first of all, it suits my personality because I'm a right slapdash person. I quite like to paint quickly. Some people love to do detail, and sometimes I do, and I can understand why people do. But my problem is that I'm never very happy with the details that I paint, if you know what I mean. I'm going to make that one solid as well. It's quite fun to paint them, those details, but after they're done, to me, they never look right. And if you're not painting for your own satisfaction, then it's hard to know what you're painting for. Sometimes I've had commissions to do for people, and I have decided I'm not going to ever do that again because it's too stressful, because you just can't relax into it because you're worried that it's not going to please the person that you're doing it for. Right, isn't it? Okay, so some of these I'm going to fill in with green, and some of them I'm going to leave empty. And then on the other one, I had yellow birds in the background. So maybe I'm just cleaning my yellow paint here. I don't know what this is going to turn out like. But let's try and pick up some yellow. And let's give this bird some friends. So I'm not painting bird shapes, I'm painting splotches of yellow. And the birds will come later. Let's put one here. Okay, that's a fairly reasonable sort of distribution. Maybe, do we want one down here? Maybe not. I think I've got yellow paint. I want to use it, but I'm not going to, so get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to dry that now, I think. Okay, so I've got a Tombow pen here. This is one of those ones that's got a brush end to it that you can press hard and you get a thicker line, and you don't press so hard and you get a thinner line. And with this, you can sharpen up everything that you've done. So you can go around and give yourself a much smoother edge. I think these pens are used for cartoons and things like that. And you can go round your leaves as much as your heart desires. And I think it's quite nice to make your flowers like that. And then once you've done the petals, you can come in and neaten them up like that. It's up to you how neat you want to go. But it has quite an impact, doesn't it? And then you can put the veins in if you want. Don't have to do that if you don't want. It's not quite dry. you can have fun with funky flowers. If your shape is out a little bit, you can correct it, and so on. It's a completely different technique to what we normally have done, but I think it's quite fun. And I don't think there's any reason to only use one method of painting. That would be ridiculous. In this day and age. Okay, so that's not too bad. And so we've got this little birdie up here. Well, actually, let me just finish this. There we are, so then his legs. And we can, I haven't gone round that one because he doesn't really need it. This one does, I think. He's missing a bit of blue, isn't he? Okay. Everybody has one side better than the other. For me, it's the left. Left is usually better. Everybody is like that. You could put a line there for the background if you want to, so that it gives you the impression that it's sitting on something, but you don't have to do that. And he needs a wing. He needs his wing. And now I want to do the background. And I'm going to now come back in and start emphasizing these leaves with some nice free swirly strokes, which I really enjoy doing. This is one of my favorite things that I've discovered that I really enjoy to do. And try to go with the flow of the growth pattern, probably is the best way of looking at it, of the branch. So sort of work upwards like that, or, you know, strokes going up rather than going that way. And this one obviously is growing down, and you can press and release, press and release. However it works best for you. I like these pointed ovals, but you can do them with a rounded shape if you want. And what I quite like to do is to not stick with the line that I've already painted, but to go just beside it, because I find that that gives me more sense of movement. I'm just going to turn that upside down, sorry. Awkward with that there. That's the only downside of these sketchbooks. I knew there had to be a reason why people quite like to draw on paper rather than in sketchbooks. But on the other hand, this does keep everything together. And it's popular, so sometimes you just have to go with the flow. This pen that I'm using came as a part of the set that I got from Tombow. It was a third pen. It's got grey at one end and black at the other end. And that was offered as part of the set supposedly a sort of free thing. And I don't quite see what the difference is between it and the other ones, which look like this. But I don't know, maybe it's a little bit softer. Perhaps it's a little bit more artistic. Perhaps it's more designed for drawing rather than this, I think, is meant for calligraphy. So we're getting through all of our branches here. And then once you've done this, you can decide whether you want to colour your empty leaves in. And you can do that with either paint or one of these pens, which is, for me, I use the Poetique brand only because they sent me a set a couple of years ago when I was first starting out. They were the first company to approach me. I don't get any, don't get any commission from them or anything. But if you buy them from Amazon, I get like a 1% commission on everything that you buy if you do it through my Amazon link, that's quite nice. It's not huge, but it's something. Now, I have a decision to make here, and I need you to tell me what to do. I can either turn these yellow blobs into birds, which would look quite cute, like these here. Just put bird shapes over them, or I could turn them into flowers, and I could either do them using black or grey, or I could make them into flowers using one of my yellow Poetique pens, like this. So I could do this. And or I could do both of those things. I think I seem to have decided that I want to do the yellow flowers, probably because they're going to be a lot quicker to do. But you could definitely turn those blobs into birds. We've done it before. There's loads of videos showing you how I do that. And so if you want to have a go at doing that and you need some inspiration, just scroll back through the videos or search Diane Antone whimsical birds, and you'll come up with some tutorials on that thing. So yeah, so that's okay, isn't it? So then we could emphasize the greens. Try to find one that works. Just dip it in water, make it a little bit more runny. We could emphasize some of the greens. We can add more leaves if we want. We can do anything here. That one probably need a bit more green in them. Or we can just leave it like that. We can try putting ink all over the paper if we want to. I could add a few more of these bluebirds as well to give it a bit more blueness on the outside. I think that would probably be quite nice. Or I could... what I could do to bring in some blue, I could take the blue paint and we can just put some, you could call them berries, blueberries, turquoise berries. Yeah. Just so as to make the design a little bit more complete, balanced. But there's something I need to do there as well, on the rim of the lid. You notice that when you're tired, you can't think of all the, you can't think of the words that you want to say. And earlier on, when I was starting this video today, I was pretty zonked. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, as she repeated yet again, reminds me of when I had babies. You don't need that when you're getting towards the end of your 6th, 7th decade or whatever it is. Now, how many have I had? 6? 6 or 7? I don't know, feels like a lot. Right, so on here, I think, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do the blue? I think, yeah, we'll just put some thin black lines like that. That'll do. What else? I think that's about it, don't you? I think that's enough for now. I'm going to leave it there and yeah, have a go. See what you think. It's a fun project. Can darken up these centers here. I bet you'll make a much better job of it than me. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a look at the website, dianeantone.com. Lots of free downloads of sketches and things. I will put a sketch of this one up because the shape of the vase, sometimes people find that quite difficult. I do. Okay, so I'll let you go and I'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye from the Bluebirds.